patient with me. You know, sometimes I get like technically illiterate. All right, so gold. Okay, so gold made me so happy, and I'm gonna break down my analysis from last week. I'm gonna go into a couple of different analysis. You guys who are new on this call, I want to say this just starting out. If you do not trade Fibonacci, please get off my call, but not in a rude way, just because it's for your best interest. Okay, if you have a trading style, do not confuse it with somebody else's trading style if that's not how you trade. The reason that so many people are unsuccessful in trading is because they try to take on everything. They'll end up doing patterns where they'll use like a bat pattern and harmonics, and then they'll use Elliott wave, and they'll try to go try out something else. Then they'll try out Rankos, they'll try out Hikinashi candles, they'll try out all these different things and never master anything. So how I trade is Fibonacci. Literally, it makes me money every single day. If that's not how you trade, not to be rude, but clear up the space for somebody else to get on this call that trades how I kind of do. If you want to learn 100%, I'm all for it. However, it's for your best interest as well, just because you want to make sure you're constantly growing and taking in the proper information that will help you, okay? Because everybody's style is different. So, gold. So beautiful. All right, so last Friday, well, this happened earlier during the week. Friday, we were in this consolidation zone, and literally Friday, this hit my alert to the upside. I had this buy into this trend line here, and then I was going to see what was going to play out. So guys, also let this also be a learning point. You don't have to have, like, sometimes when I know where price is going, like futuristically for like a week or two, I can play it out. But sometimes you won't know, just depending on where structure is and what the market is giving you. So based off of my analysis on Friday, I had this just come into this trend line, because you see every time it hit this red trend line here, and this was a month, no, not a monthly. This was a 4-hour trend line that's drawn, this red one. Every time it came to this area, we bounced here at this trend line here, bounced here. We see this morning, it broke through, okay? So I marked this up with my students yesterday morning. And I told them to be aware of overall structure, because a lot of people right now are expecting gold to sell, but I need you guys to be aware of overall structure. So remember, we talk about major structure and minor structure. So overall structure right here on this 1 hour, okay, we see that we're in a trend. So we have this push up, we have a correction, impulse correction, continuation, and then here we have the breakout of this red 4-hour trend line, which is a minor, well, not a total minor structure trend line, but compared to like a monthly, a daily, and a weekly, it's a minor structure. The overall structure for main structure is, look at this black trend line that I have here on this weekly. So do you see how every time price came here, it wicked off? So yesterday, I think I was talking to, I know I was in my girls group, my women's group, but I think I was on Fasil. Yeah, what was I talking about you? Was I talking to you when I was talking about how bullish this was?
Yeah, we were talking about the green candle versus the wicking of the previous.
Okay, yes. Okay. So always understand, like, even when you do your markups, look and see what happened the previous days, right? So this daily candle that closed on Friday was right here. So remember how the market opens up on gold. So right now, 6 a.m. was when this new candle 6 p.m. 2 hours ago was when this candle just started. So 6 p.m. yesterday, Sunday, was this candle. This was Friday's candle here, okay? I don't know, let me just put a little box over it so you guys can see. This was Friday's candle, this candle here, okay? Do you see how bullish this candle is right here? And then also, if we look at 4-hour structure, hold on, let me make that look better for you guys. If you look at 4-hour structure, do you see how every time it came to this trend line, there was some wick exhaustion at the top? However, the 4-hour candle that closed, or the candle that closed Friday, if we look into price, do you see how all of this exhaustion at the bottom, which means that there's no longer sellers in the market. So does everybody see that? Make sense? Yes.
Yes.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
No worries. Also, guys, so you guys know that I have to, I like to have like different teaching points for people, and I really want to promote proper education. So if I say anything that you just love, tag me on your Insta story. Y'all should all have my Instagram at this point, but I'm going to type it right here just so you guys have it. Okay. What I was saying for whoever just asked that is during the week, right? Or last week when the market closed off, it was an extreme bullish candle on the daily, which means that that candle that closed that day out was very bullish, meaning that there were not a lot of sellers in the market, and that candle was this blue candle here. So this candle started at 6 p.m. today. This candle was 6 p.m. yesterday, which was Sunday, when the market opened on gold, and this was Friday's candle. Okay, so what I was saying was where we have all of this like bullish momentum was what I wanted when my student Fasil, we were talking yesterday and we were talking about gold selling, and I was like, make sure you're aware of this, because the way the market closed on Friday, it was a lot of bullish momentum, which means that there are not really sellers in the market. And as you see today, literally the market, well, yesterday when the market opened, it was some consolidation, but today we had that push up, okay? And the part that you wanted me to repeat was when I was talking about the 1 hour, where you see all of this exhaustion at the bottom. Do you see that?
Yes.
That means that there are no longer sellers in the market. So price is like pushing up, okay? That's like an indication for a buy. Now, remember when I tell you guys trade what you see, not what you think? Because even though this is a red trend line here, this is a 4-hour trend line, even though it respected it here, 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 it broke through here. So now we have to like literally adjust our bias. And like I was telling Fasil on our call yesterday, when you look at overall structure on here, and we look at our fibs drawn from point A to point B, right? So our fibs would be here. Ignore this black trend line. Let me just delete this because it's gonna pass. So we have our fibs, point A down here, point B right here, retrace to point C. We respected this blue trend line here. This is a weekly trend line, literally the entire time. And now we have this push up. You know, our take profit 1 is our negative 27. Our take profit 2 is what?
Negative 61.
Exactly. Now, also in line with that negative 61.8 though, is what do we see?
A trend line?
Exactly. This is a black weekly trend line. So where can we kind of like expect price to go?
Is that black trend line?
Now also look at this, okay? If I go to structure on even a higher time frame,
You also have an area of resistance.
we have a supply zone here. So ultimately, long term, this is where I want price to go. Now, what we need to also be aware of is that price has been pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up with no real retrace. So right here, I want to see this trend line retest. I want to see a retest of this trend line, and I'm going to carry this to here. Let me see something. Oops, ignore the way this trend line looks. Let me make that pretty. I was doing something with one of my students earlier. Okay, so we can see kind of like a somewhat like this. Let me see. Let me get my little ghost pattern. We get kind of like that. But price is like real steep now. Let me see if it's you see any divergence anywhere. Also, we start to see divergence here. So if you see that this is like going up here, and then you see how this is going down here, that's always an indication for a reversal. So I'm expecting a reversal to happen soon. I want to see it come all the way up to this negative 61.8. But I would say do not take a sell unless, actually, let me put an alert on the trend line right now while I'm talking about it, because sometimes I'll be forgetting to go back and do it. So I'm just gonna do it on the call. This black trend line here, you're taking buys unless structure breaks this black trend line. Okay, so always wait for your confirmation before you just enter the market.
Hey, Jess, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I noticed on gold that you in your RSI instead of your MACD. What is
You can
the
use
read?
either one.
It doesn't
Because
matter. Okay.
I don't use the let me just pull up my divergence thing. So I don't even really use indicators. The only thing I use it for is just to see if I see any divergence. You can use MACD, RSI, both of them, like, because I don't use like MACD crosses or none of that. Like, I didn't even know, like, that's not how I trade. So RSI and MACD, you can kind of like see, you can see them on either one. It's just whichever one you prefer.
I was just curious because I know gold you said moves a little differently than other pairs. So I don't know if it's like correlated to gold only specifically, but I see. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, look at you being observant. You better
You got to. I might do it.
Does anybody have any questions before I move on to the next here?
Jessica.
Yes.
So we only take sales if the trend line is broken and we do a retest.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, Miss Barbara, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you, Jessica? Thank you.
Of course. Yes, you only gonna take a sell if you see this broken. Okay, and actually, I'm gonna kind of break down a break and retest that I took this morning on US 30. I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me? Type a yes in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Like, I really need to change these days because, listen, Mondays and Wednesdays are my days that I literally take all of my students. And so I have them back to back. And I feel like at this point, like, my screen isn't even, my face isn't even sharing anymore. I don't know what's wrong. I'm going to keep going. I'm not even just going to worry about it. But my students are back to back on Mondays and Wednesdays. And I think because I've been on my computer literally all day long, it's like my computer is like hot as hell right now. And I would put my fan on it, but then y'all not gonna be able to hear me because y'all just gonna hear the fan.
Hey Jessica, how you doing? This is Tony.
Hey Tony.
How
Hey
you doing
Mr.
today?
Tony. Everybody say hey to Mr. Tony. Tony.
Hi.
How y'all doing?
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Okay, yes, Mr. Tony.
Hey.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to pick up some of your technical skills and how you doing your trend lines, your analysis. And it's been a while since I did fields and things like that. So I got a pretty decent handle on, I think, what you're doing. I'm not as far as long as your student because you got a lot of lines on here. I'm trying to follow along, but the question that I had was about the, can you go back to that gold chart?
Yes.
And I can't see the top of it. All right. And you saying you're expecting gold to go up to the, what is it, the 1750 area?
Yeah, 1748, unless we have a break of this black trend line. So I always wait for confirmation because, like, as you know, the market changes day by day, right? So I just need confirmation, but based off of my, like, Fibonacci, absolutely, yes, that's where I'm expecting price to go.
And then you're expecting it to reverse at that point?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I was looking at the historical prices of gold, and it hasn't been up there in a long time. So I was just trying to see how
but also, but look though, because even before October, right? Let me just, because I remember right here, I remember October, everybody was expecting price as this area here to reverse because of historical data. Like, I remember so many people, like, I even have friends, I even lost money on this sale right here because I was expecting the price to literally go back down to this little purple trend line down here, just like price had reversed, because mind you, before this, price had not been above this area since 2013. Right? So, yes, we look left, of course, 100%, but price had not been as high as it is, period, since, like, this, right where we are right now, price hasn't been where we were in January, price hadn't been there since 2013. Here.
Okay. All right, I got you.
So now price hadn't been where it is right now since 2012, where we are currently. So here, the last area where I have price pushing through, price hadn't been here since October 1st, 2012. So here, this is the highest it could go, is where I have this, hold on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I know gold had been trading near its 8-year high, and I would be looking for a reversal. I think you're right. I think we got there different ways, but I think you're right. I think it's probably going to push up there and then reverse. I'm just trying to understand, everything you're talking about.
Yeah, and then, like, even you with your technicals, I mean, with your fundamentals, even though, well, like, when we talk about, like, gold being like a safe haven in the market and stuff like that, and, like, how we talk about how, like, this recession is literally just getting started and is about to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And, like, I am expecting also that to be a factor in why gold is literally pushing up the way it is, even though we know that we had that fall in gold, like when US 30 was falling, because of the whole like recessionary fears, and people, like, literally the market's just been going haywire from the standpoint that coronavirus and all of these different things and different factors. But, like, even when we talk just on our, like, talking time, when we talk about how, like, gold is a safe haven in the market or whatever the case may be, like, the more our economy goes down, like, I'm expecting gold to rise also. So, like, just lining that up with what Fibonacci is giving me in these technicals, and also looking at this trend line bounce here, or wait, hold on, here. And yeah, don't let the fibs confuse you. Because, like, I know that I trade, like, it's just different styles, but I'll just kind of break down. Actually, let me just go to a clear chart so I can kind of show you and anybody confused. So the way that I trade in general, when you look at Fibonacci, literally, wait, is this the same color chart? Let's look a little different. Hold on. Why does it look so different on that? Is it the same? It has to be the same. I don't know why it looks so different. Okay. Well, let me see. Again, it's the same. Okay, so let me go back to that.
Here's the thing, I'm gonna say this last little bit, and I'm gonna shut up for the rest of the class probably. This might be impossible to do, but I will. one of the things to keep an eye on here, I mean, I think your analysis is spot on, but of course these are uncertain times, and then earnings season just started, right? Companies going to be reporting earnings this month, this next few weeks, right?
Right.
So depending on how that earnings and stuff goes, then I would be careful to just say gold is.
You'll be careful to say what? Can you hear me? Mr. Tony? I can't hear you no more.
Reverse. I thought it was going to say.
Wait. You gotta repeat whatever you just said because I ain't hear you. You just went out.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. No, the earnings season just started, right? Second quarter earnings season. And they're expecting the earnings season to be really, really detrimental, especially for the banking industry, who's taking on massive amounts of debt, right?
Right.
The Treasury has the U.S. Fed, the Treasury is buying up a lot of bonds, right? Which is basically taking over the bond market, right?
Right.
So as the earnings season depresses, right, I would be looking for the gold could potentially push past the 1750 barrier and heads towards, $1,800, $2,000 an ounce. Depends on how bad this next quarter gets, right? But I think your short-term analysis may be accurate. I think it may go up there and make that bounce back down based on your fields, like you said. But just keep in mind that as this earnings season gets underway and these companies start trading or reporting this next few days, next few weeks, keep an eye on the weakness of the dollar and the strength of the gold.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Line that up with your technicals.
Yeah, so I agree with all of that. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying, like, okay, so when we do our technical analysis, or when I do technical analysis, like, I do it based off of that week, and literally as price needs to be adjusted, I adjust it based off of every week I mark up. So every Sunday I mark up, and then I have my analysis for that week. Like, I know, like, I'm not a swing trader, okay, at all. So I look and see what price is doing, because that's how I can ensure, like, my capital. Like, I look at it every Sunday, and then during the week I have my alert set. So then when it hits my alert, like, I don't have to look at the charts all throughout the week or nothing. Like, when it hits my alert, I'll literally just get in on that trade and capitalize off of, like, the move. But based off of the fundamentals that you're talking about, that's why I was saying, like, I'm expecting price to definitely come to here, but I'm not getting into any sales until this trend line breaks. So right now my analysis is buy until I have a break of this trend line. So even with that, like, because with the market in general, like, we all have to adapt. Like, we don't control the market. The market basically does what it does, and then we react to what is going on. But based off of past structure and past price, and I'm gonna mark this up, like, from scratch, just so I can kind of show you, like, what exactly everything I'm looking at. But here,
you don't have to do that, Jessica.
well, I'm gonna do it because, okay. So let me ask in the chat: does everybody want me to mark this up from scratch? Because I know you're not the only one. Like, I know you're new on this call, but some people don't really.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Before you do that, I do have a question.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
Can I ask first? Can I ask my question first?
You good, baby. Go ahead.
Okay, Jess. So then, I'm not trading, but I just want to ask. So then, how would you, I guess, counterbalance, like, maybe like a fake out that it probably does, if it does that, even though we'll be, like, buying up until, like, the negative 61.8. Like, what if it does a fake out where it, like, kind of breaks? Like, how would you, like, I guess, like, I mean, well, you're pretty much a pro, but, like, how would you, like,
That's why you always wait on a retest.
Okay.
Retest ensure that you won't be faked out. That's why we always, like, because anytime you can have a break, but that don't mean, like, even this break right here, we never really got a retest of the trend line that was broken where it broke. Even though we got a lot of bullish momentum, we also see consolidation right here. Mm-hmm. But looking at past structure, every time we had this push up right here, let me annotate so you guys can see this. So we had a push up right here. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. One second. Okay. So let me just show. So we had a push up right here. Then we had this whole area consolidation. Push up right here, area consolidation. We had a push up right here, consolidation. But you see how every single push up is starting to get shorter and shorter. This consolidation right here was not as long as this consolidation right here was not as long as the consolidation right here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that? And you see this whole consolidation here. So you see how like price is literally surely but slowly like closing off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying like this isn't that much to go up. That's why I don't have my bias. I don't have it going all the way to this supply zone yet, because I want to see what happens when price gets here. Just like Friday when I did my analysis, I had not had this. Literally, I took profit at this red trend line because that's what the market gave me. That is what I know for a fact is going to happen. I'm not going to guess the future until the future presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So like here, what I was sure of was that this was going to come to this red trend line. Okay, boom. Took profit, played out perfectly, beautiful, right? Now, I wasn't going to hold that because I wasn't sure what price was going to do at that moment, which is fine. That's how you secure your capital and don't lose capital opposed to just guessing, right? So opposed to the market pulling back on me or coming into an entry, I took profit, whereas I could have stayed in the trade and capitalized off of this whole move here. But that's where you just have to have discipline. Don't be greedy and understand that I'm doing this based off of what the market gives me. And once it gives me something else, I'll adjust and react and need to do whatever I need to do to make those adjustments.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Omar, I heard your voice. You had a question?
Yeah, I did. So we're expecting price to come up to the negative 61.8 Fib extension, and expecting to sell. So we're waiting for the break of the black trend. Are we looking for? Okay, so if when we get to the top to the 618, of course, or even to the black trend line, of course, either one. You know, we're waiting to see how price moves, and then we're going to enter after it exits the black trend line. Where are we looking for our sell TP?
We gotta have that first.
Right. Okay.
So we can't make that. We can't look too far up in the future.
Okay.
That we don't have.
Right.
We won't have that TP until we have a secured, literally a secured foundational point to secure point A and point B of our fibs, and then we'll see where it pulls back to, and then we will secure that take profit as we go. Does that make sense?
Because we can, okay, because I see the second consolidation area we can pull back. Okay, that makes
sense. Yeah, so once we have that bias to like, or that justifiable point to say, okay, well, we can see this is going to go to this point based off the fib, but we don't even have a fib for the sale yet because we don't know what that point A and point P is going to be.
Right, okay.
Gotcha.
All right, so from scratch, guys, I'm going to mark this up just so you guys can see. So first off, let me just trash everything. I'm going to do this from scratch. Okay. So first off, start with the monthly, like literally is nothing more than just a top-down analysis. So we see this whole area here, right? This is just what we need to be aware of. And then also looking at this monthly, do you see how much exhaustion is here at the bottom and how bullish this monthly candlestick is? Like that's just stuff that you always need to be aware of as a trader. Like where am I in the market? And then with this, because I'm doing it from scratch, I don't have my foundation levels on here. Foundation levels are like my monthly and weekly like key levels that I like mark up just so I have when I'm on a smaller time frame. I know when I'm near a weekly level and with a monthly, but it's going to take too long to do it on this call. So I'm just going to kind of like break this down from here. Okay. So here where we are, if we look at this whole like weekly level or whatever the case may be, I want you guys to help me out. What do you see? Anybody? Students?
Can you repeat that? I wasn't paying attention.
What do you guys see? Because I don't want to just give y'all the answers. Like I want to see if y'all really be learning from these calls. So tell me what you see.
Well, I see we have.
It's making its way back up to the monthly zone you drew.
You said what?
It's trying to make its way back up to the monthly monthly zone that you drew.
Okay. Can I draw any more lines anywhere? Like what do I
Draw
see?
support and resistance area coming from right, yep, right there. Straight across.
Right here?
Nope. Up top, yep. Where your line right there. Draw area across. That's the area of support and resistance.
But that's not relevant right now.
So we were closer to price?
Huh?
You want closer to price?
Yeah, okay, so look, that's a good learning point too, just for you guys, right? So this happened, like, until the market breaks out of this and it's coming back down here, I'm not really worried about this past price. Now, I had it on my other chart just because when I was traded, like, mind you, my markups be from like I never delete my markups. I don't like to. I like seeing like my analysis play out. I like if I got a trade wrong, I want to see why I got it wrong. So like literally this is like I don't delete them. So yeah, like I got that line on this chart, but when you guys are marking up, you only want to do it on what's relevant because you don't want to just have a whole bunch of lines on your chart that you're confused about, right?
Okay.
That makes sense?
Complete.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions, guys, before I go back over? No? Okay. So let me go back to here. Okay. So where we were on the weekly. Okay. So tell me, guys, what can I do?
Put a support line at the last low.
Here?
Yeah.
Because that's not relevant either, because we have this trend line bounce for that. And then also, even if we put this support line here, where was it support or resistance anywhere else based off of that original line? You see that? So don't have your chart cluttered just because.
Well, you can put another line, a zone from where the price is currently at, because when you look left, when it was in that area in the past, when it couldn't break it, it dropped.
Right here? Or right here?
Go down a little, right there, yeah.
Okay, I would agree with that. So I'm gonna use a little horizontal wave right here. No, I don't like that, I'm sorry. But for your chart, if you choose to do that, then 100% that's fine, but it's just gonna make my chart ugly. But I'm
seeing an ascending wedge.
Where?
On the weekly. You have a black line going up. I see another line on top of that whole section.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. Okay, look at you, girl. Okay, so where would I draw this line? Tell me.
On all the highs. 1, 2, 3.
Here?
Yes.
Okay, we can do that. All right, so I'm gonna go down to the daily and see what I see. Okay, so at this daily point, what do we see? Do we see anything we can add, take away?
I'm seeing
what is relevant? Huh?
There's an uptrend. You can draw another trend line.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the 4-hour and draw it just because it's gonna be clearer. If I drew this trend line on this time frame here, it's relevant, but you see how it's like really, really steep. I'm gonna make sure I include those wicks. So I'm gonna go down to the 4-hour. Also, guys, typically I use different colors. Oh no, it's pretty much the same. I use different colors. So like the red I typically use for my daily. The monthly I typically use like a goldish color. So let me just change these. So here, then I'll go back to here. This is just so when you're actually into price, like when you're on your smaller time frame, you don't want to be like if you're on your 1 hour, you don't want to say, oh my God, what trend line is this? Because remember, just like when Mr. Y'all know how when Mr. Tony was talking when he was like, the size of the thing matters, when he was talking about fundamentals, how whatever happens in the world is going to affect the country, and whatever happens in a country is going to affect the company. Yeah. Think of that when you're looking at the market. Whatever happens on the monthly is always going to trump and overrule what happens on the weekly. Whatever happens on the weekly is always going to trump and overrule what happens on the daily. So if I'm in my 1 hour structure point, I know that because this is a red trend line, I know that like this is a daily trend line, which means that price not just about to break through willy-nilly and go on about its way, right? Price is literally going to like, it's going to be a hard break if price breaks this area. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes sense.
Okay, so tell me guys, like, where can I draw my fibs? Where would I draw my fibs on this structure? So we're on the 1 hour. So when we talk about major and minor structure, like we have a minor structure, we have a major structure, we have multiple areas in which we can draw fibs. So what's the first fib I can draw on this 4 hour structure?
That's a yellow line.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. So literally I have this low to this high.
Yep.
And then the second one be at the 38.2. You draw your second fib.
Right. Okay. So we see, let's just go down to structure so we can kind of see how this is playing out. So here, do you see this? Everybody see this? So this area here is where we broke through Friday, right? So I had a trend line, it was like right there. Here is where we had carried the market to. So the market was here on Friday. Let me just change this trend line so it can come in. Dark blue for the 1 hour. So here is where price was on Friday, caught this buy, consolidation, broke out today. Now, let's look at this breakout, because now that we have this trend line drawn, right, we see two different things. So where this trend line is drawn on this structure, what color was the black trend line? What time frame was that?
Weekly.
So what does that mean?
Consolidation.
Exactly. And it's crazy because where did I draw this line on my other chart? Hold on, let me see something real quick.
Yeah, it looks different compared to before.
It does. Let's see what's different. So we have it from January 7th, 2020. Let's go back to this one and see where we drew it from. Oh, that's why. So I didn't have a weekly trend line drawn on the other one. I only had a smaller time frame. So if I take this, when we talk about major and minor structure, this was the trend line I had on that other chart. I didn't even have this weekly trend line on there. I'm actually happy that we're doing this analysis right now. So if we look at this minor structure, this is a minor structure, this blue. But remember, just like we talked about, the weekly trumps everything. But I still have this consolidating at this point. Remember, you're not taking sales unless this trend line here breaks. Here, and then like just set your alert. Put that. And then you adjust once the market gives you what you need. But here we already got a little bit of wick exhaustion, but because this candle closed so bullish, I could see this. I could see the consolidation of this weekly being this area. Does that make sense? Did that just make sense to everybody, what I just said?
Yes, man.
So like, even though this is a weekly trend line, right? We know that with a weekly area or a higher time frame, like GBPs are a perfect example for this, right? I'm gonna go to, let me go to GU. So this consolidation area here, This is on a weekly level. This little dotted line, let me just make this dash. This is a weekly level here, right? And this is what I was talking about when I was talking about my foundation zones to you guys. Like, I do these zones so that I always know where I am in the market at all times. And ignore all the lines. Like, I'm sorry, I don't delete my charts. This is one thing that y'all gotta deal with me. But this weekly area, this dotted line, let me know automatically that's a weekly area. So I knew that price was not just gonna push away from it because it's a weekly area. And do you see how this consolidation at this area, like, even though this consolidation, you could still trade within these zones because each consolidation area was 150 pips up and 150 pips down. That makes sense? So when you have like a weekly area, let me go back to gold. When you have a weekly or a monthly area, you have strong consolidation areas, right? So this whole bias I still have as the same. This could just be like, let me example real quick. Let's say, even if we took this, right? This would be considered consolidation. So let's say we took this. Do you see how, like, this is consolidation, and it's consolidation at this weekly area? It touched this little supply zone / 4-hour trend line. If I take a step back so you guys can see the full picture. Do you see this? So this is the 4-hour trend line. The black one is the weekly trend line. And then I have, let me go to the thing. I'm gonna scoop this over for now so you guys can see the trend lines, and then I'm gonna put it back. Hold on. Okay. So look at the trend lines first so you guys can see everything without it confusing you. So the monthly is the yellow at the bottom. And then we have, this is the Austrian zone. Let me also make this yellow so we know this is a monthly area. Okay, we'll go with that one. Yellow is our monthly, strong area of resistance, strong area of support here for this trend line. Weekly area, this black trend line here, okay? So remember, major structure trumps minor structure. On the 4-hour, remember, you only need 2 points to validate a trend line. Always remember that. You don't need a whole bunch of points, like you need 2 points and you draw it into the future. So literally 0.1, 0.2, here we got 3 points. So that's a trend line, a justifiable trend line. Now when I go down to structure, this red trend line is the daily trend line here, like Lynn said. And then we have our blue trend lines are our 4 hours. So remember, this was our first 4-hour trend line, and then this was a 4-hour trend line that got broken today. Okay, so is everybody with me so far and understand how we got our analysis thus far?
Yes.
All right. Also remember, when you draw your fibs, you're drawing from point A to point B. Your retrace is point C. Point C lets you know where the market is going and how volatile it's going to be to get there. Now, literally all I did was take this ghost pattern that was previous here and just made another one. So when I said that I want this price to consolidate here for a while, one, because, hold on, this should not be black. This is a daily, this is a 1-hour trend line. So we're gonna make this, let's just make it green for now. The black is the weekly. This green one is the 1 hour. So remember, this is like minor structure. It's the most minor of our entire structure put together thus far. Okay. That makes sense so far.
Yeah.
Crystal.
Okay. Now, this 4-hour trend line, the blue one that was here, never got retested. So we need to keep that in mind. Okay. So what I can see here, like I just said before, like just a little bit of consolidation. Let me carry this out some because consolidation can come over some, but literally this exact pattern that is here, like honestly, I'm really just looking for this exact pattern when you think about it, because here, if I put this right here, this comes up, consolidates here, pushes up, breaks this area, respects it, tests it a couple times, consolidates here, hits our 61.8, which we know when price gets to our negative 61.8, we want a reversal, which is also a supply zone area, which is also which is also a weekly trend line, a 4-hour trend line bounce right here. Let me just adjust this little trend line right here. A 4-hour trend line bounce, which is this blue trend line, and then here we have price reversing down. Then after it reverses, we have a break and a retest of both this red daily trend line and this blue 4-hour trend line, and then we can have our bias of price pushing back down up to the point where we have another trend line or something of that effect. But for where price is right now, again, I don't like to go too far out to the future. I like to do my markups every week, but where price is right now, this is what I'm looking to happen. All right. Does that make sense to everybody? Honestly, like when you learn how to trade, it's really clear as day. Like, especially once you just perfect it, it's just perfecting your craft. Like it's so beautiful and it's so great. And is Chantel on this call? Chantel, you on this call? Probably not. Sharing man money for the week. Okay, never mind. Well, one of my students, I'm so proud of her. I think I put her testimony on the group already though, so y'all heard it. But does anybody have any questions?
One question: Are you suspecting the retest of the blue trend or not?
Well, look, the bars pattern even got a retest before I even look.
So you are before it's
every trend line that breaks, you always want to retest. That's just your confirmation of what's happening. So yes, the answer would be yes, but remember, it's not even that much of a distance. Look at where this blue trend line is. It's only like let me see.
That's what, because it's so small. So I was like, do you like wait for just maybe the other high to be broken before entering possibly? Because it can just continue up before retesting because it's such a small area, and that's what I was like kind of.
I mean, it could probably just give you like a little wick down and then continue up.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could probably just give you like a little bitty wick down. We are in an uptrend, remember, until this green trend line breaks. So do not get in or look for sales until you have a break of this trend line. Don't be like, oh, well, I thought it was going to do this. No, don't trade what you think. Trade what you see. Trade what the market gives you. Okay? I am just going to go over US 30 really, really quickly, though, but I'm like, it's about that time, y'all. It's 9:30, but since I got on.
Are you taking any new students?
Gian, take your microphone off.
Yes.
Listen, I told Gian today that I think I'm not going to teach no more.
What? You said what?
You know, so it's been real. It's been real, y'all. Like, it's been real. I don't know. I'm still like, I'm going to pray on it. Gian told me that I just need to, because honestly, I wasn't taking more than 10 students at a time. I just feel like, that is like, that's a good number. 5 on Wednesday, 5 on Monday. But then y'all know when the whole coronavirus, I had so many people reaching out to me. I opened the doors for like an additional 4 people. And so now I have 14. Well, no, because 2 of them are done. But so now I'm like basically back now. But listen, students, this is the thing, right? Gian told me I need to drop it down to just having 3 students opposed to just not teaching altogether. But to be quite honest, it's like I pour into everybody. And sometimes I miss trades because I'm on a Zoom call with a student. And the trade that I literally am expecting to play out or need to play out or something, I missed my perfect entry because I'm on a Zoom call, and I'm like, I just can't do it no more. Like, because I can make way more money just focusing on myself without the headache. Not to say you guys are headaches. Oh my God, that was so horrible. I said that so wrong. I said that so wrong. That's not what I meant. I just mean like I don't know. I'm gonna pray on it. Okay?
We understand. It's all right. No need to explain.
Just somebody asked why you don't do like one big like training, like a boot camp or like a 5-day course or something like that.
Dr. T told me I needed to do that today, actually, but let me tell you why. I would never do a 5-day course. Okay. And that is because I take pride in the fact that all my students, like every single student that I have that is done with my course has literally made all their money back plus tenfold. Like I take pride in the fact that my students are successful, and it's not about the money to me, because when you do a 5-day course, you're overloading people's brains with the information, and they leave there and they're not really like, they can't just go do what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it still takes time. It's still trial and error. Whereas like the sessions that I have, they're very tedious. Like the way it works is like, it's 11 weeks long if you don't have to redo homework. But I make all my students, like, if you get homework wrong, you have to redo homework, because in the market is no room for error. And y'all, you know what I'm saying? My students got my name on them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like they are a representation of me. And maybe, I don't know if it was Spelman or whatever, but it's just, I just take pride in my work. So I can't have nobody out here that don't really understand and say that I taught them. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to work for me. So I don't do them little, oh, let's do like a little mini boot camp or whatever, because yeah, it's a quick money play. Like when you think about it, everybody pay $500. Like I know my whole group chat that I have 900 people in it. I know people would be quick to be like, oh, Jessica teaching, like, let me pay $500 to do this little boot camp. But I want like people to retain the information that's given to them. And if they have questions, they can ask me. Like all of my sessions that I have, like my students, you know what I'm saying, is one-on-one. So they can ask whatever they need. Like if you get homework wrong, we go over why you got your homework wrong so that you don't make the mistake again. And then it's like, even after the course, like you get put in this little group to where every Sunday, it's like I put them on training wheels before they get out in the real world. So like Sundays, we like mark up. I kind of do like what I do for you guys on Mondays, but it's just for my private students on Sundays. And like everybody just compares their analysis. So when everybody has the same markup, it gives them more confidence to like take the trade throughout the week, up until the point where you feel like I have some students that aren't even in the group anymore, just because now they just trade on their own and they just grown and they just like, oh, I don't need you no more. And I'm like, oh, you know.
Why would you charge up on Sunday? Why don't you just put alarm so you can take the trade?
Huh?
You mark up your chart, just put the alarm so you can take the trade when it, when it reaches a point where you need to enter the trade.
I can't hear you.
When you mark your charts up on Sunday, just set an alarm so you can take the trade when it reaches the price, so you won't miss your trade.
Yeah, but when I'm on the phone, when I'm on with students, like I make sure I don't have my phone or nothing, because I try to like make sure all my time is to them. So it's like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I have to think about it.
We love you, Jess.
I'm praying on it though. Like I had a talk with Gian today. She said that she don't feel like, I do feel like God has given me a gift that I shouldn't be selfish with. That's why I do these Monday calls with you guys. Cause like for real, I paid $21,000 to learn this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I feel like God gave me the blessing so that I could be a blessing to other people. Like,
yes.
Huh?
I'm gonna say this, Omar. I came on your Monday calls about 8 months ago, learning basics with IML, and just watching you, listening to you, and then doing my own analysis and studying of the charts. You can definitely learn this if you put your mind to it. Like, not saying that the students, you don't need to be a student, but like last week I caught 300 pips just off your trading alone.
Aww.
I have my price
That's
out
great.
for over 800 pips ready to be called. I already called 200 already. Prior to that, I was catching only 30 pips. So I'm gonna say this to anybody who's watch her videos. Go on YouTube, watch her videos back to back to back. Like I watched all her videos at least 5 times. It's about repetition. So it's there if you want it. And she's giving it to you guys without having to pay.
Yes, and I don't even I don't even sugarcoat nothing. When I'm on these calls, like when I'm like marking up on these calls, like literally is how I trade. You know, some people, they don't give it all to you, or they'll like give you like the crumbs to where you become dependent. Listen, I feel like once you learn this skill set, you don't need nobody ever. And I don't know, like I'm thinking about the whole student thing, but like Omar said, like it's really just how bad you want it. With private students though, it's just like, them my babies. You know what I'm saying? Like Gian, this my girl. I love my students. Like it's like a real love. Like it's a real love. Like I just be so happy, especially when they get it.
Yes. Can I give my 2 cents?
Yes.
As one of your students, I do think that there's a middle ground you're not considering. If you, the same way you do your private sessions, class by class by class, if you actually make a course where you have a pre-recorded video teaching and then given the assignment, and you know you show examples of what it's supposed to look like when they're done, I think you can actually sell that course for.
But I don't want to.
I know, but you hear me why? Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Because the difference is, like, for example, I've been on your calls many times, fell in love with you on your public these classes, but you keep saying, don't let all these lines confuse you. They always do. Because when I'm looking at your class, except, I mean, I can follow you when you are teaching, when you're marking up from scratch, I can kind of follow where you're going. But when you are teaching on a chart you've already marked up, I'm following your talking, but all those lines used to have me confused. When I do my sessions with you one by one, I'm learning how those lines came to be and what these lines are for, what these lines are for. So I tell you, today's session, I've understood more than I've ever understood in all my time, period. And it's because it builds up and builds up until you can now look, and I'm now seeing that the lines are different, and I'm now picking up what the different colors mean because I now know how you got it. So if you could make a course, I'm not saying, I agree with you, the 5-day weekend course, BS, it's not going to work. You will be overwhelmed and you're not going to be able to absorb everything. And the way you do, you ask for your homework, I find that by the time I'm finished with the homework, I'm answering the questions I had when I started the homework. So a lot of the times you don't have to answer the questions that I'm asking directly because the homework answers it for you. You see, the market tells you what it's doing. So I do think that, you know, don't publish it until you're happy with it, but you can actually make something where the only thing people will be missing is that one-on-one feedback from you.
Yes, but I feel like that's the most important part because
it is.
like,
I mean, just to piggyback off Omar, to be honest, like, and even like, cause I'm one of Jess's new students as well. And I watch Jess's videos like all the time. Even this weekend, I just watched the first one that I got on when I first got on a call with her that she was doing. And I don't think it's more so about the call. I think for me and what like we love about Jess and her teaching is the fact that she makes it so personable that like trading is, she says it's easy because like, you know, once you really get it, it does become easy. However, I feel like I wouldn't be able to understand how much I understand if I didn't have her as a mentor. So removing that aspect of where I'm able to like connect with her and text her and talk to her, that for me would be like a little bit of like a displacement in a way, because like we could buy all these courses and yeah, but then it's just like that still leaves us with like a ton of questions. We could watch these videos and be on 1,001 repetition and like, you know, apply, but like, how many times like we're gonna really like see the video and then like really be able to be like, well, why would you do this? It's like seeing a video, it's like having your own perception of like answering like, well, why would you do this? And then actually having her there to provide that answer. I feel like that's 1,000 more times better than just like having a video that you're looking at your face and then you kind of have to like figure it out by trial and error on your own, as opposed to really having somebody there to not like really like hold your hand, but really just validate your questions and to provide that feedback in a personal and a more intimate way.
I'm not taking away from that at all, Jess, but it's if you were considering not teaching at all versus leaving a legacy, that when we're on the group calls, you still give us room to ask questions. We still have a chance to get some of the hard questions clarified. Now, don't, please, you know you've helped me in so many ways that no course could have done. So I'm not taking away from that. But if you are considering not teaching, I do think you need to make a journal and publish it. And this is what I'm asking for in terms of a course. I think your course can be different from all those out there. I'm done.
Okay, so this is what I'm thinking about doing, because me and Gian talked about this today. I think I might take like 5 students at a time and just like lower the student amount. And then I might also do what Dr. T said and do 5 students at a time in a group, because it also helps each individual, because then they could feed off of each other's energy.
I like that. That's smart.
So I might do that, and then it's like this your classroom group, and then we gonna have like a scheduled time, just like I do with my private one-on-one students, and then everybody can ask me the questions at the same time and like help each other also. Yeah, I think I might do that. But back to US 30, because I'm hungry, y'all. So let's see. Okay, so we have major and minor structure, right? Don't let the lines confuse you again, but actually, let me ask a student that's on here. You guys, tell me what this is. Let me see a name. Angelica, what do you see?
I knew somehow that was going to be me. So that right there, I see as another supply demand zone.
No. What is this line?
Oh, wait. That is the, okay, hang on.
Ms. Barbara?
The market return 100%.
Can you see what I'm drawing on my chart?
No, I can't see.
Y'all can't see my chart?
Yeah, I see your chart. I see your chart.
You talking variations?
It's a break and retest.
Oh, the retest, break and retest.
Okay, and what does that retest tell you?
Going up.
All right, what is this green box?
That was the last point of
consolidation.
Consolidation.
It's a test of resistance, no?
Thank you, Sophie.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys this whole US 30 like thing, right? Because how many people just get so confused on US 30? And look, remember we did this the week before last, before Dr. T's call, and look how this analysis played out. Remember we had it come into this area here, and then coming to this red trend line. Let me clear this up. Okay, so look at where we are now. Oh, wait. Here, where we are now in the market, right? So I was on, hold hold on, let me, okay, there we go. I'm gonna delete this main fib so these lines don't confuse you real quick. So I took a sell on US 30 this morning, but I just wanna show you guys like kind of how all of these fib levels, all of them literally play out with one another and how you can take advantage of literally every move, no matter what time frame you're on, but you have to understand the difference between major and minor structure. That's the first thing. Does that make sense? So this morning we were here because I was talking to Gian and we're talking about this. Okay. Student, any student, what does the 38.2 fib level mean?
An aggressive
Gonna be continuation.
Aggressive continuation.
Yes. Okay. So look at this. Impulse correction came down. 61.8. What do we have? What do we expect at 61.8?
Reversal.
Okay. So literally off of Fibonacci. And why I love Fibonacci so much is because it don't matter if you are intraday scalper, a trader, a scalper, or whatever. Mind you, this move literally happened between 9:25 and 11:05. And look how many pips this is.
Sheesh. Oh my goodness.
2 hours. Right? But also understanding that even if you are a scalper, right? Once you expect that reversal, look at this. What happened? Like literally, it always plays out. Impulse, correction, take profit 2. At take profit 2, we expect what?
Reversal.
Exactly. Literally, if you are the scalper of all scalpers, that's why I love Fibonacci so much. Like you can just make money at any time of day, whenever you want, that's based off of structure. Where US 30 is right now, hold on, because I haven't marked this up since this morning. One sec. So it never reached our 61.8 here. So I'm thinking that it's gonna come up and retest the back of this trend line bounce right here, which is also the negative 61.8. So we got a break and retest earlier. I exited this on a smaller time frame. Oh, look at how that just shot up. Y'all see that? Y'all saw that? And then even this, I bet you, if I draw, let me see. Let's use here. Do you see how it started wicking right at this negative 61.8?
Mm-hmm.
If I draw a major fib, so this can go up to about this point, which is also what area here. Let me just,
Yes, I have a question.
yes.
What do you mean when you say the 61.8 fib is reversal?
That's my take profit too. And anytime it hits there, I just expect the price to reverse.
Okay, so you don't mean the retracement?
No,
Okay.
the negative 61.8
Oh, okay.
at the top, the blue. So blue is take profit, red is stop loss.
Okay.
Red zone. Yeah. So let's see if this gives us like an area here. And then, I mean, for this week though, I'm expecting the US 30 to definitely go down. Like I have a sell as my overall bias. I just want to see if it's going to come up to this negative 61.8. Look how literally this is just now happening. Do you see this? And this is also what I mean about how I be on Zoom calls and be missing my moves. Okay. But it's right there. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm about to call it a night. And go get some food or go cook some food. Okay. But I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Okay.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I hope you guys were able to learn something today.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Jess.
Thank you, Jess.
No worries.
Yes.